Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Judges Locker Room. So, event number 3, 4, and 5, which round up day 1 of the 2020 CrossFit Games, are done. So we're just going to go through the results, give you a quick recap. I did a recap on events number 1 and 2. The link should pop up right about there. And also do a quick little fun highlight video that will pop up maybe a little later. Okay, so let's go over to the big screen for event number 3, which is the CrossFit Total. The CrossFit Total was done at the CrossFit Games before. So this one, obviously, just with the 5 athletes, everybody can see what weights are being put up. So it makes it a little more interesting that way. So let's pop over. That's Samuel Quant doing his. So then up should be the champ, Matt Fraser, hitting his back squat.
Now, the way it's going is 482.
Come on, man. Come on. Oh, easy. Easy. Oh, too easy. Too easy. That's the champ right there. So, that was the back squat. So then, obviously, they go to the strict press. So let's just watch a little bit of the strict press there. So we'll play some of the strict press here. Obviously, Justin Meridoso there. So we'll go through the scores for the strict press. So Matt Fraser ends up winning this one with a 210 score. We have Samuel Quant and Jeffrey Adler with 207. We have Noah Olson at 205. And Meridoso didn't have the greatest one. He had 175 for his strict press. You can see him struggling there to lock it out. So we'll listen to Matt Fraser here for his final lift.
Over the top of your head instead of in front of your face is where you want to fight. Huge. 210 for Matt Fraser. And
not bad at all.
For Matt Fraser, so he goes 2 for 2 of the heaviest weights we've seen.
So it's different this year. There's no music playing. And you see a nice little smile on Matt Fraser's face. You can hear the athletes say different things. So it's kind of a neat little aspect. Mind you, I do enjoy the hype when there's music and the crowd's going, but obviously this is a different year. We have different expectations, but Matt Fraser looking pretty smooth, winning this part of the CrossFit Total. So obviously the 3 numbers are combined to make your CrossFit Total. So here's Jeffrey Adler behind me. Sorry about the video, it's a little messed up with the colors. But Jeffrey Adler ends up winning the deadlift at 567. We'll listen into that.
Successful 550 lift for Adler. This is the one he's hoping that can push him over the top for an event win. Wow.
Nice. Easy is. So an easy lift for Jeffrey Adler. He comes in at 567 for his deadlift. Noah Olson at 540. Meridosa, a little better performance in this one at 537. Matt Fraser at 535. And Samuel Quant at 525. So we'll just skip ahead to see Matt's lift there. So here's Matt's lift. He knows he's not going to go for the win here, but this must be a big lift for him because he gets a little pumped up here.
Sitting about 25 pounds? 25 pounds outside, 35 pounds outside.
There's Jeffrey Adler watching on.
535 on the bar for Fraser. Wow. Yeah.
Nice little lift from Matt Fraser. That didn't give him the win. Jeffrey Adler came out the win, but that was a nice showing for Matt Fraser there. We'll skip ahead to the leaderboard. So behind me here we have the total for the event number 3, the CrossFit Total. Jeffrey Adler comes in at 1,244. Matt Fraser right behind him at 1,237. Noah Olson, a little better performance here at 1,200 pounds. Samuel Quant at 1,196. And Jeffrey Meridoso at 1,192. So Matt Fraser didn't take the event win. The sweep is over. If anybody was calling the sweep going to sweep every event, this wasn't really one that he was expected to win. You know he'd be right up there, but Jeffrey Adler is a very strong competitor. A lot of people would have put their money on him to win, which he did. Okay, now for the women's event number 3, the CrossFit Total. So basically, just a quick overview of this one. Haley Adams, not really expected. She did really good in the first 2 events. Where she's only 19 years old, she's really going to develop into get stronger over the years. So this one, you'll see her lag behind a little bit. Of course, you're going to expect Tia Claire Toomey to come out well. So we're going to show the video of her final lift here for her back squat. So just to go down the scores for the backside, Tia Claire Toomey will come in with 335 on this one. Brooke Wells, 315. Carrie Pierce at 272. Katrin Davis-Daughter, 269. And Haley Adams at 265. So those were the 5 scores for the women's part of the back squat. So let's just watch Tia Claire here.
Brooke Wells at 315. And it looks like she's going for 335. You can see her coach Shane or on the right side.
Coach and husband. So everybody was allowed to bring a +1 to the games. Obviously, she brought her husband and coach Shane. Oh, you can see the knees come in a little bit there. It was a heavy weight for her, but she made it look easy. Okay, so for the strict press, obviously the athletes can't use any jerky motion. Just have to strict press the weight overhead. For this one, as you can see behind me, I have queued up Carrie Pierce's highlight, so that's a little indication who won. So in 5th place, we had Haley Adams at 127. So like I said before, she's kind of showing her lack of overall kind of like 1 rep strength. Third, and tied for 3rd, we have Wells and Katrin Davis-Daughter at 137. Tia Claire Toomey came in 2nd at 140. These are in pounds. And 1st place, Carrie Pierce at 157. So a huge jump, 17 pounds over Tia Claire Toomey. So let's watch that one. Nice strict press there for her. Taking the lead in that part for 157. So then we'll move on to the deadlift. Okay, into the 3rd and final round of the deadlifts. So just to round out the top 5, we have Katrin Davis-Daughter in 5th place for this event, the deadlift portion, at 295. Haley Adams comes in at 327, so it was nice to see her get out of last place there. Carrie Pierce came in at 335 for the deadlift in pounds. Tia Claire Toomey comes in at 415. Then Brooke Wells kind of blows everybody out of the water at a 432. 432 deadlift. That's what I have queued up right behind me here.
Wells is 405. Herself back 23 pounds ahead of Brooke Wells. David's-Daughter only has a 4-pound lead on Haley Adams. Pierce again solidly in 3rd place. This is a big lift.
Ooh, getting a little stuck. Can she get those hip through? Oh, that's close. Now the camera will go to a side angle here. You can definitely, with the side angle, see that she does kind of get the hips through and locked out. You see the back rounds. Then she kind of gets, so if she dropped it right here, then it wouldn't be any good. But you'll see all of a sudden the hips right there come through. And she gets the good rep there. So that was for a 432 for 1st place in the deadlift portion of the CrossFit Total. So let's just skip over to the total for everything. Okay, so here's the total for the CrossFit Total for the women. As you can see, in 5th place, Katrin Davis-Daughter with a 701 total. Haley Adams, the rookie, I keep calling her rookie, but the 19-year-old comes ahead of Katrin Davis-Daughter at 712. These 1 rep type pure strength events really aren't in these 2 athletes' wheelhouses. Then there's a big jump up to Carrie Pierce at 764, and then obviously with the top 2 athletes that were going toe-to-toe, you have Brooke Wells at 884 and Tia Claire Toomey at 890. Brooke Wells, you saw her struggle on that deadlift, so she couldn't really eke out anything more out of that deadlift, so she needed a little better back squat or strict press to knock Tia Claire off, but nope, Tia Claire wins event number 3, so a nice little sweep there for Tia Claire on 3 events so far. So, on to now the 4th event that was announced, the strict handstand walk/sprint, I guess you would call it. Can't really go that fast, but anyway, it's a good event. We'll pop over to that. Okay, so over to the handstand walk / sprint event, event number 4 for the men. Behind me here we have the mullet man himself. Nice little showing for the rookie here. So the handstand walk, obviously, you have to complete the course. Going down the field's going to be done up in little sections. So as long as your hands get past both sections, you can stop, take a break at that point, and keep going. If you fell mid-section, you have to go back to the one previous behind you. So let's watch this one live.
But stay focused and keep those hands strong.
Event number 4, the handstand sprint is underway. Noah Olson starting off at a very quick pace, followed by Matt Fraser and Justin Medeiros leading on the bottom left part of your
So you can see Justin Medeiros right above me here. Every like 5 yards, he stops. You can see he stops, kicks down, kicks back up, trying to avoid, I guess, fatigue on his arms. It's working. He's staying in second place right here.
I think that's great because it's not the first half of this race that's going to be important. It's the second half. So here's Matt just going unbroken. Noah's right behind him crushing. But those guys haven't come down at all. But Justin has come down every single time. And he's still right in the mix. He's still sitting. Actually, he's in second place right now.
Matt Fraser still holding on to that lead. Has yet to come down as he is approaching the
I apologize for the weird color of the field there. So it has something to do with the green screen messing things up anyways.
And just inside to his left is Samuel Quant. Fraser will come down for the first time. Medeiros is creeping back up. Fraser has about 10 yards to go.
And look at the difference. Matt actually looks tired. He's been putting in so much work. Justin Medeiros is just popping up and down.
So as they get to that red line, obviously they can kick down and run across the finish line. So you can see Matt Fraser gets his 3rd event win. He obviously just lost the event before the CrossFit Total. Okay, so right behind us here we have the total. Not the total, I guess it was the times. Matt Fraser obviously won. Justin Medeiros behind him. Noah Olson came in 3rd. Samuel Quant and Jeffrey Adler in last place there. So this is a nice little, I guess, recovery for Owen Olson. The last 2 events there, he kind of finished in the middle of the pack after kind of a disappointing first 2 events, and we'll see what he does in the final one, which will be the trail run. So behind me here we have the women's queued up, ready to go. So obviously the same thing, the handstand walk sprint for the females, event number 4. Coming into this, if I was going to pick somebody, I probably would have picked Carrie Pierce. Her and Catherine Davis-Daughter did really well. I think it was it 4 years ago, maybe the 2016 CrossFit Games, so there was the same type of event. So let's just watch this one live.
In the center lane, but the other 4 ladies are already off to a big lead.
And this is something that momentum driving it.
So you can see Brooke Wells kicked down for the first time here. Brooke Wells really needed this after a disappointing first 2 events. The CrossFit Total, she had a nice little finish in 2nd, and it looks like she's going to take 1st here. So once you see the red line there, they can kick down and run to the finish. Obviously, this event was not in Tia Claire's wheelhouse. She does end up coming in last, but she has some points to spare, so we'll just jump ahead to the point total there. So here we have the total. I'm going to look in to see what happened to Catherine Davis-Daughter, but it shows Catherine Davis-Daughter getting time capped, even though it shows her crossing the finish line before Tia Claire Toomey, so I don't know if she did something to get disqualified, but you wouldn't think... you think it would say disqualified. Anyway, we'll figure out what's going on there. Tia Claire Toomey in 4th place at 2:05. Haley Adams at 1:24. Carrie Pierce at 1:23. And Brooke Wells with the event win at 1:21. So this will not affect Tia Claire Toomey. She'll still sit in 1st place, but it'll definitely help Brooke Wells. The last 2 events there, she'll move up the leaderboard a little bit more. So then next event we have is the trail run. So let's move on to that. Okay, so as we go into event number 5, as I'm filming this, I think Brooke Wells is still on the course. So spoiler alert, this is not a good event for her. Anyway, standings after 4 events, obviously Matt Frazier in first place at 375, Samuel Quant in second place with 200, Jeffrey Adler at 185, Justin Merdoso at 180, Owen Nolson at 180. So just to be mindful, just with the 5 competitors and how the points go, there could be possibly, like, I think it's around an 80-point swing if, say, Matt Frazier came in last place and Samuel Quant came in first place. They can make up quite a bit of points. So even though 175 is a big lead, and it definitely is for Matt Frazier, it could be made up if he has some really bad event. So we'll move on to the some video of the actual trail run itself. Actually, I forgot I should show you the women's points as well, just where the men and the women's will be running the trail event together, so I won't have time to show the women later. So we have Tia Claire Toomey at 315, Haley Adams, the 19-year-old, who, if you haven't caught on yet, I'm cheering for her, at 220. Carrie Pierce tied with her as well in second place at 220. Brooke Wells at 205 with her good showing on the CrossFit Total and the handstand walk. And Catherine Davis-Daughter in last place at 160. But again, everything can change depending on how this event goes. Okay, so here's the breakdown of the 3 mile plus or minus. That's kind of a key. You see that there now, and you'll learn about what that is about a little bit later. But the trail run, so we'll let go live and hear what they have to say about that.
Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. And that's what the Ranch Trail Run is going to be today. We got to see this tested the day before, and it is just an assault on your senses, physically, emotionally, because there's false summits, steep downhills, dust, leaves. You saw people slipping and sliding all over the place. This is one of the best trail run courses I have ever seen at the CrossFit Games.
And for the first time here at the CrossFit Games, the men and women will be competing together, although they will be scored separately.
Okay, so there is the start list. As you can see, the men and the women together, as they just said, they'll be obviously scored separately. So I think if you remember, last time the trail run was done, was it Annie Thorsdottir that did really well on that? I think she may have won it, and she lapped a ton of the men. So you will see some women beat the men in this. It's kind of cool to see them side by side. So let's go into the actual competition. So here's the riveting start. Obviously, it's not going to be a sprint off the start because everybody's going to pace themselves, but the athletes are here together, and let's listen in.
Event 5, the Rash Loop is underway, approximately a 3-mile loop through the hills and over the train at the ranch.
So obviously, as you can see here, it's done at the ranch. It's very dusty. In the woods, you're kicking up leaves. What you can see also is the athletes don't have any water with them, so that's also a challenge as well, to obviously just the steep terrain. So at points you'll see it's like a 55-degree hill. Basically, the athletes will be pretty much walking / crawling up some of the hills. So we'll skip ahead throughout this trail run, and I'll show you different kind of key points. So here's a nice little clip I want to throw in. Basically, I think one of the demo team members had a GoPro on, and they kind of show what it's like running through the hills here.
This is basically what they're seeing as they navigate this portion of the course. There are going to be a couple of blind spots here. We have spotters on the course, so we'll be able to keep you updated with what's going on. We may not be able to see the athletes, but it gives you an idea. You talked about the incline, the dust, but there's a lot of unsure footing out there as well. This is not, level ground.
That is that's about as raw as you can get it if you just drop someone off in the middle of a hillside somewhere and said, find your way home. It's almost that raw. It's a slight trail, barely.
So one thing to take note there, you don't really see it right here, but especially in the downhills where they pick up a lot of speed, these athletes have another few days of competition to go, and they don't want to sprain an ankle, pull or anything, so they have to, obviously they want to go out and run and compete and try to win, but they have to be very careful and mindful of their bodies as well. Here we have Noah, Olsen, and Adler coming down the hill. That'd be third and fourth place. In behind them, you saw them just a second ago. We'll pan over to them. It's just kind of one little point I want to show here. When I mentioned before about going down hills, you have to be careful. So the top two females there are Tia Claire Tui and Haley Adams right behind her. You can see other competitors in the background.
Just behind Tia Toomey. I think one thing people forget about Haley Adams.
You can see Haley Adams there. Her leg, her right leg, kind of goes out to the side. She stumbles. She looks like she's running a little gingerly on it right now. She did finish the race, and we'll see how she did. But there was no comment. You can see she kind of stumbles there again. So maybe she sprained something just a little bit. But maybe later on social media or something there might be an update about that. So here's Brooke Wells. So kind of sadly, Brooke Wells ended up taking a wrong turn. She went the totally wrong way, and now she's in dead last and quite a bit far in the back. So that's really devastating for Brooke Wells, who just had two really good events and now sitting in last place, really unable to recover from this. So it's been fun watching Matt Fraser and Medeiros go head-to-head here. So this is where they think they are going to the finish. I'll let you just watch and see what happens here. It's a nice little twist.
Medeiros. Now remember, there is a twist to this event. The athletes don't know about it, and they're going to find out at the same time you will at home. So Fraser making the turn, Medeiros making the turn, and now a sprint to the finish.
Turn around, run in reverse. This is the entire course backwards. No, this I'm serious. I'm not joking. You're going to start losing. Run the whole course in reverse. Keep moving. I'm dead serious.
So as you can see here, Matt Fraser didn't believe Dave Castor. Dave Castor known to be a little bit of a jokester. But basically they finished their 3-mile run and Dave Castor says, oh, you have to do it again. So now it's a 6-mile run instead of a 3-mile run. That was that little plus minus. Matt Fraser was crouched down, relaxing. I didn't believe in Justin Meridos. Just kept on going. It was nice to see that. But now these guys have to go. They just sprint it to the end, and now they have to go back and do the whole thing over again. So since we've been gone, Catherine Davis-Daughter has taken over the lead for the women. Matt Fraser just about 20 seconds ago was neck and neck with Justin Meridoso, but then he just turned on the jets, and now he's racing down the hill for the first place win. As the camera pans back, I don't think you even can see Meridoso back there. He is in second, quite safely in second, and Catherine Davis-Daughter is in first for the females, followed by Haley Adams and Tia Claire Toomey, then Carrie Pierce, and we have not seen Brooke Wells again. She is on the course, but I think she's quite far back. This basically is the home stretch here. So what I'll do is we'll just show a couple of the athletes finish. So obviously Matt Fraser takes first. That's 100 points for him. Justin Meridoso will come in second. And then we'll show the race there for our third and fourth.
The ranch loop. And here's a twist. Matt Fraser's really fit. The turn.
So it's nice to see the former champ. She, like I said, now she's going to get 100 points. She was sitting quite a distance back from Tia Claire Toomey. But you think about it, she's going to come in first. Haley Adams comes in second, and Tia Claire Toomey comes in third. So she'll make up, I think, probably about like 50-some points there on Tia Claire, so that'll be nice for her. She looks quite energized here. So there are the results for the women. Catherine Davis-Daughter comes in first, about a minute and 15 seconds after her. Haley Adams, Tia Claire Toomey about 4 minutes after that, followed by Carrie Pierce. Then about 7 minutes outside of that, Brooke Wells, who was about 14 minutes off Catherine Davis-Daughter. So a rough event for for Brooke Wells there, who had some momentum going, but this run kind of crushed her. But it's a long weekend. There's still a lot of events and a lot of points to be made up. So here are the men's scores. So as we saw, Matt Fraser came in first, Justin Meridoso in second, Noah Olsen in third, and Jeffrey Adler in fourth, followed by Samuel Quant. Okay, so these are the updated scores for the women's overall. Right now, after 5 events, we have Tia Claire Toomey, the champ, at 370 points. Haley Adams, like I said, made up some points on her there at 295. Catherine Davis-Daughter jumped from 5th place into 3rd, and we'll see a lot of these jumps throughout the week with 260. Followed closely by Carrie Pierce at 255, and Brooke Wells, with that bad finish there in the trail run, dropped down to 5th place at 220. But again, points can be changed. 80-point swings can be made in events. Do I think somebody will catch Tia Claire Toomey? I don't think. But definitely that race for 2nd and 3rd will be highly contested, and I think we'll switch throughout the weekend, no problem. So switch over to the men's event there now. So for the men, we have Matt Frazier with the commanding lead at 475 points. It's 475 points out of a possible 500 points. The rookie Justin Meridosa at 255 in 2nd. Noah Olson, a nice little recovery after those first 2 events, at 235 in 3rd place. Jeffrey Adler at 220 in 4th place, and Samuel Quant at 215 in 5th place. So, like I said, for the women, same thing for the men. Don't think anybody's going to catch Matt Frazier. I just don't see it happening. But that race for 2nd and 3rd is wide open with only 40 points in between them. There can be 80-point swings in events, so we're on for a good weekend. So that's recap for event numbers 3, 4, and 5. The previous video I did was 1 and 2. That's the end of day 1. I think overall it was pretty good. The first couple events weren't too exciting. Even this one was kind of long to watch, but there were some ups and downs and some twists, so it wasn't too bad. But I think the next few days we'll have some more of the events where we're looking to see the kind of the exciting ones. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.